Good evening and welcome to EvilGinger Miniatures, where for a change at this point of the evening I'm actually quite awake and with it and not gone down with the cold I was thinking I was going down with previously. Anyway, as promised, we have various things to do today, including two unboxings, which would be better if I had the head camera on and you could actually see what I was looking at. But one of them is a tiny bit faked, I'm afraid, because I actually got this Saturday and I needed one thing that was in the package. So I unpacked it for the purposes of getting that one item out, which was some gamer's grass, which I used on those Space Marines that you've probably seen pictures of if you've been following the website, sorry, following the Facebook page. I needed that to finish those off. Other than that, everything that's in the box is what I will show you now. And then there is a genuine complete unboxing sitting over here that arrived today, just as I was about to go upstairs and have another fight to put in the curtain up, which is the change to the office that needs doing to put up a sun-proof curtain to prevent all of my racking getting exposed to the sun, because I get very strong sun on the back of the house. And I've got some nets to go up. I need to get some nets to go up because I've discovered I've got the wire for nets. And that will help break up the sun to some extent, and then there'll be proper curtains there as well. It'll also allow me to set up the new photo booth up there, but currently the bit of board that's involved in building the photo booth is being used to block a lot of light out the window to protect the stock, which is in the dark corner of the office, but pictures will appear of that in due course. Anyway, this is the box. And it's rattling, not because it's got anything in it anymore to speak of. What it's got in it are some squabbles. And that was what was rattling on the small earlier the little thing I did as an advertisement for this, and a reel. What's in it, what was in it, is here in one of my soon-to-be more of the release boxes. Now, there are some big bits in here that I need to explain. There were these two, because some of it is a result of there being a bit of an issue. This is for a very nice gentleman who is sorting out the action camera for me, but sort of forgot to bring it on Sunday when I saw him, and I forgot to take these out of the house when I went to see him on Sunday. So that was the whole the whole Books and Banter thing. It was partly to do that, but these are gamer's grass tufts, and those are the little ones, and these are the big ones. And I do wish they would do just a regular round one like they do with a lot of their other ranges, because mix and matching makes really nice things. I bought mine original ones for some scenery, which I never did. This is the typical Annie. And I really must get some of my own what's it notes. We have a couple of things that got missed out on an order for the first few Community Minis figures. This is Joan d'Arc, and this is the flag for Joan d'Arc, which I'm almost certainly going to photocopy, because I know what I'm like with. No, this is the flag of Joan of Arc, I think. I may have become slightly confused on that one. That's not unique. And I will probably photocopy that, largely because I know what I'm like when it comes to wrecking stuff on the first attempt, especially with paper flags. This is why I use a lot of DIY ones. And so I shall photocopy that so that I will not mess it up quite so much. But that's Joan of Arc, and a very beautiful flag that goes with her. I think that's the right way up. I believe the mounted version, which I will be getting at some point, has a different flag. More stuff that you get in Squiddo stuff. And I will finish painting my own Ada Lovelace. It's not as lovely as that, but I may have another practice figure in here, because again, with me the more I do a figure, the better I get at it. And of course, then we have a Turkey Man sticker. We have to have a Turkey Man sticker. I really need a Turkey Man. It's going to be in one of my scenarios at some point. It's probably one of my demo games. I got a second Stagecoach Mary, which I wasn't expecting. As I say, the Joan d'Arc was a figure I thought I'd ordered but hadn't got. But I got a second Stagecoach Mary, who I will be painting up, and is a really, really lovely, simple figure. And I might do the bag, which I did as self-coloured canvas, a little differently, a bit more this colour. We also have Harriet Tubman. One of the figures I really wanted from the first two waves of the community miniatures, and which didn't come when I got the order. But she will be added to my collection. And at some point, when my 40mm range gets to that point, I will be doing my own version of Harriet Tubman, because slavery is a very major theme of the range. The core of the range being the colonial marine detachments, who were all escaped slaves who were offered freedom if they fought for the British. Is that Ada Lovelace? I'm becoming confused. Right, this is Ada Lovelace, which again I'm going to have to do a proper one of. No, did I get sent two Ada Lovelaces? No, I didn't get sent two Ada Lovelaces. As I say, this entire community miniatures, which I'm really much in favour of, was somewhat. It's been a bit of a confusion, largely because I pre-ordered stuff and then forgot I'd pre-ordered it, and then I got it, but I didn't get all of it, and I had to work out what I hadn't got, and I was running through a bout of depression where such things like working stuff out hurts a bit. Anyway, and we also have Audrey Hepburn. Now, I think she is in wave 3, but I'm not sure. As I say, I have completely lost the plot as to what's going on with the Community Miniatures project. But it's on hiatus-ish at the moment, while Annie gets to the point where she catches up with things. And I really hate staring at the screen because I'm not sensitive about my hair, but I turn into my father, who is when I'm staring at my face like this. I really could do with the What's It camera, so I'm not looking at me doing this because it's flipping distracting. Anyway, that's the fake unboxing, as it were. Some very, very lovely figures, which I will be painting, and the other ones I will be finishing because they're currently sitting in the unfinished but part done tray, as is my which are going to be these. Just standard 25mm bases. For Minedra, just need a bit of filing. Reminds me, I need to order several hundred more of those because I seem to have ordered used all but about 15 of these several hundred I ordered last time. It might be getting out of hand. Now this one is a complete mystery. Yes, that's my address. Yes, I've just doxed myself, but it's my company address. So, you're welcome to come round and have a chat with me at any point. And if you don't like me, well, we'll see. Anyway, we'll see. Anyway, enough of that. We have one of these, which I had to hunt for. I have a workshop full of these little snap-it knives. I find piles of them when I clear up. Yet when I actually want one, they've all vanished. So this one was upstairs where I'd used it to unpack the curtain rail I'm attempting to put up. And I'm only stymied in doing because I thought I could reuse the screws that the people who'd previously been here, sort of 15 odd years ago, had used to put their curtain up, because they finally left them screwed into the curtain rail, the bit of button that the curtain rests on. I thought that was very kind, you know, take the screws out, put them through the brackets, and then reuse them. However, what they had actually done was they had used fairly cheap, nasty Phillips type screwdrivers, and they've been screwed and unscrewed enough that effectively the thing where you put the cross screwdriver in had been ground to a hole. So I'm going to get a box of new screws. I used what I could, but I couldn't use all of them. More packing paper. Some, I'm not entirely sure what this is, but this may actually have some use as sort of scenery and terrain, if I can get other stuff to stick to it. And we have, where's the things? Who are they from? I thought these were John Martin related. Little Soldier Company. David Wood. Why is David Wood sending me stuff? What have I done to David Wood? Thank you, David. This was totally unexpected. I thought this was all from John Martin's mucker. Ah, yes, it was from John Martin. Right. That explains, because he was talking about dwarves. And there are indeed dwarves, which I will fish out. And he has also seemed to have got a bunch of Dark Ages soldiers, which I hate. Right. Stuff is going on off camera. Thank you, Little Soldier Company. That appears to have issues with Ziploc bags. Great idea. Sometimes don't seal. So I'm rather hoping. So if I put that one to one side, I'll know if there's any stray bits that it will have come from there. Again, the Ziploc bags weren't terribly zipped in places. This is actually one of the reasons I have it of the heat crimping these things. Right, so nothing has actually fallen out of that. So I'm pleased to hear that everything is in there and I've resealed all the bags properly. But now I've got that out and ascertained that there is nothing missing, I will go through what's in it. First of all, there would appear to be a number of resin Normans, but Byzantines. They're Byzantines, right. I know, these make sense now. These are Fireforged Byzantines, which John has sent me to add to the 6 that he sent me many, many years ago, and which I've been thinking of turning into an army at some point. But he's obviously had someone efficient, probably his sainted friend Andy Murby, sorry, clip them all off of the frames. So those can go over there, and I obviously will need some more plastic bases for those. I think there might be a couple in there, but I'm not sure. And those are my Byzantines for which I will be using in a fantasy army, as well as in the Byzantine army, medieval Roman army. These are the dwarves, which are the soldier company ones. They're 5 forged, incidentally, which I will be working out. These will be painted for John Martin's collection. I don't think you'll mind me saying so. And I'll have to work out what exactly all of them are, because they've obviously come directly to me from the Kickstarter. And I'm probably, if I'm having a look at them, going to have to get some more little soldier stuff, because what's the business card on these people? Little Soldier Company stuff, because thing is, I tend to see stuff in, pictures, and it's not the photographs that sell them. It's actually having a look at them in this state that does. And I'll have to work out what they are, and some of them are multi-part metal kits, which will have me swearing, which will make John happy because he likes making me swear. And yeah, selection of Kickstarter metal bits, which I will put back in the box for the moment, but I will have to get out and have a detailed look at. But I'm not having a detailed look at those until I have got a tray, but I can put all the things in and sort them. So, John, your quote, because there will be a quote for these, I'll have to wait a couple of days while I find myself a tray so I can go through everything and look at things and have a think, because I'm not working that out on screen, because it's a bit of a head scratcher sometimes. I have standard prices for things that I do for commission, but sometimes if they're non-standard, I'll stare at them for a bit. Yeah, let's sort of think about that one. Right, so it was confusing. It was Andy Murby's handwriting. It's not John's, because John's looks like my handwriting. Mine's like mine because of dyslexia and laziness. His is because of C and P and laziness. And Andy Murby's looks like you'd expect: nice, neat, crisp handwriting that can be read by someone that hasn't got a degree in interpreting obscure ancient languages and scratches on potsherds. I'll sort out how many Byzantines John has sent me. I currently have 6, which are now in the upstairs. They were sitting over there on a shelf, and there are still some stuff of Byzantines on the shelf over there as well. Again, sort stuff out. So we've had 2 unboxings, quite surprisingly. Now, I was going to use these plastic bases to base up the Bad Squiddo unboxing that I did know I had, and I've even got me glue to hand, so that's probably going to need some attention. Bought another glue at the weekend because these things, once they're open, have a distinctly short shelf life, and super glue tends to turn into a sticky glue, so you might still have glue at the bottom of the thing, but it's not going to stick anything. It'll make stuff sticky, as in, yeah, horrible sticky, but it won't actually glue anything. But I'm chuffed with those, and I will have to save that to send to Uncle John. He's younger than me, so I can call him Uncle and wind him up a little bit by hinting he's older. But that's the unboxing. That's the Byzantines, which confused me a great deal. But let's get on with the modelling bit. Now, I'm going to take... Am I going to do that now? No, I think I'm not going to do that now, because I'm going to be having a think. Other thing I'm expecting through the post fairly soon are a great number of war bases buildings, which I am going to be doing some pretty heavy kit bashing to turn them into 1930s, 40s colonial buildings in the Dutch East Indies. I'm building a rubber plantation. I have a sawmill, which I'll be converting to a rubber processing plant. I've been looking at 3D printed gas cylinders, but I'm almost certainly going to be scratch building the gas cylinders rather than 3D printing them, because all of the cylinders I can find are modern and they've got all the safety widgets on them. Whereas, as far as I'm aware, the period gas cylinders are basically just tubes with a curved top and bottom and a valve stuck on the top. If you want a picture of a period gas cylinder, look at the early pictures of the early gas attacks in World War I, which is basically when they're just opening one of these cylinders and spraying it into the general direction of the enemy, and hope the wind's blowing that direction. Which was where Army meteorology came from, incidentally, because they wanted to know, they didn't want to get their own back, quite literally. And so I'll be using those. I've got a little, probably 1920s-ish truck, which will be the one which will be broken down outside the... sorry, I've got crap all over my eyes. These are glasses. I need to go to the glasses people. But I've been a bit agoraphobic, so I haven't. Because people, shops and town and stuff occasionally get to me. Especially if I'm stuck in an area for a prolonged period and don't have the ability to move around and escape and such like. Anyway, to continue from there, the truck, which is a Warbase's MDF-1, will be converted up into being a broken down truck that's been left behind by the locals when they left the area before the fighting. It'll be loaded with some 15 or 20 millimeter oil cans, oil barrels, because at 28 mil, these look about the right size for the barrels that the latex would have been put in after pre-processing. The whole plant will be set up as a pre-processing plant. Some workbenches, some random workshop detritus, and obviously some filled barrels of latex and some loaded barrels of latex and some empty barrels scattered about. And ammonia cylinders, because they use ammonia as an anticoagulant for latex, in that you do it like a drinks can. You almost completely fill the barrel with latex. Barrels normally aluminium lined, so they're quite expensive at the time, hence smaller. And you then top it off with replacing the air with ammonia, and that keeps the latex from actually going off initially. It then goes off to a rubber plant to be processed into rubber, and that rubber is then used to make other things. But basically, the basic processing, so it doesn't just turn into a lump of crude rubber on its own, is done on site. So there'll be that. There are two planters' houses. These are American Civil War houses, which I will be adding bits of Wrigley tin to make them look more colonial, where corrugated iron roofs were quite a thing, but the structures of these houses are fairly similar. I will also be tarting up the chimneys on them to make them more stone effect. This will be basically smearing milliput all over the outside of them and basically drawing stones into it. Other way of doing it, but I haven't got any here to hand, will likely would be to get very, very thin cut architect's blue foam and basically do the same to it, draw stone patterns into it. And you could wrap that around the chimney, same way as I wrap it around towers. I need to do some little towers for various purposes that are done that way. You get a Pringles tube, you wrap it in that stuff, and then you draw all the detail on by hand with either one of those little ball-ended scribers, that you get in sculpting tool packs, dental tools with a little ball on the end, or you do it with a pen, preferably one that's going to run out of ink, because you don't want ink all over it. You just want sort of to use it as a scriber. And we've got two of those. I've also got some bases lined up for doing rubber plantations, and I need to put in a reasonably sized order for those boring cheap trees off of eBay, which will be converted into rubber trees. 40 to 60 mil trees in nice neat rows, about 10 mil above the ground. You stick a little piece of white plastic to them, and to one side of the white plastic you paint some scarring on the trunk. The white plastic you paint plastic tube or rod. You paint to look like the collection cup, and the scarring looks like where the rubber ran down into the cup. And I might do a wheelbarrow with some of the open barrels in it for people to chuck the latex in to take to the pre-processing plant by hand. So there's also some bases to be doing for more rice paddies and crop fields, sort of. And I've got a load of indigenous housing to do, because I also want to do a local village and a load of jungle. But it's all a big project, and it's something I'm going to be working on the action cam over the next however long it takes between commissions, which will pay for the next stage of it. And they'll be used for demos at Books and Banter and that sort of thing. So we've been on for about 25 minutes now, so I like to do these for about half an hour. And so we are sort of coming to the end. Books and Banter thing, by the way, made £5,500, 557, I think, in the end. Unfortunately, it didn't make its £10,000 actual target, but it paid to get a lot of stuff done. And the place is now trading. And when the proper licenses for the entertainment and the alcohol get, you can't have a board gaming site without beer occasionally, it'll be all going up and going properly. But everybody that took part in that, thank you very much. And you're all invited down. And I might even run to a coffee because it's really good. And I will be doing gaming there, and I will be doing demos there. And I'll be there tomorrow night doing D&D and introducing a new player, I believe. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm not looking forward to carrying the 350 tons of D&D books down with me, and I'm working on a better way of doing that without crippling myself and allowing me to have a 3-mile round trip walk, which is good for the old exercise. Anyway, I'm going to sort of wind things up now because I've got work to do, and I have actually got energy, and I need more coffee. So thank you very much for listening, either now or later, and I'll see you all on Tuesday next week. I apologise for the day change, but I thought I was going down with a cold yesterday. I was that sleepy and not with it. It was very limited as to what I could actually do without actually making a horrible mess of it, and Monday was worse. But Monday, other reason, I've been out and running around. But Tuesday appears to have turned into being, I've not quite got over the Monday, but I have now, so I'm going to make hay while sun shines. Take care, everybody. And this time, honestly, good night.